Hello, hello. Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart from My Inner Light, Miami Inner Light, here directly at Kardec Radio for you. And today I have a few announcements before we start with the study of the two books that we have been studying for months. So the first thing is that you are listening through Kardec Radio, so many beautiful talks, so many different speakers talking about different books. So we are all benefiting from it. We are all learning from it. And it's wonderful because we can learn through Facebook, through YouTube, through kardecradio.com, but also through the cell phone, if you are driving through the speaker of your own car. So nowadays, the technology is really a blessing that's helping all of us. But technology also has its costs. So if you could donate any money to Kardec Radio to continue improving, please do so. Just go to kardecradio.com. You can donate any money there, and it will benefit a lot to be able to keep all these tools together. Because yes, Facebook is free, but there are many other tools that Kardec Radio uses in order to be able to keep all this working together. So this is the first the first reminder of the day. The second one is if you guys are in Miami and if you would like to participate of the charitable project called Loving Bags for the Homeless, please go to the website Volunteers of Love here on Facebook, Volunteers of Love. And there you will read everything about the project Loving Bags for the Homeless. We have been doing this for 5 years now. The 3 years were in New York City, and when I moved here to Miami, I'm continuing this project. This will be the second year in Miami, and it's a blessing. Last year, we were able to have 477 bags. So it was really a huge surprise. But biggest surprise, really, was that the bags finished so quickly that I couldn't believe. And if they finish so quickly, it's because there are a lot of homeless in need. So it's very tough for us that we have a home, we have family, we have food, we have water to bathe ourselves, to know there are so many people on the streets. Yes, we know they are on the streets because of many different problems. Yes, we know drugs, alcohol, many other problems, many of them have mental difficulties, mental diseases, schizophrenia, but it's not up to us to judge any of them. Our job, our simple job, is just to extend a hand. And if you can't participate of this project, Volunteers of Love, with the Loving Bags, just do anything else. There are so many beautiful projects out there that you can always extend your hand. And in Spiritism, we know how important it is to be charitable. And today, we are going to be studying in this book here, Thought and Life. We are basically finishing. Today is chapter 29. We are going to be talking about death. And death is a title, that everybody gets like nervous, afraid. It's something negative, and it's actually not. It's not negative at all. We are spiritists, so we understand very well the law of a cause and effect. We live and we die the way we are right now. So if we are good people, if we are trying to be good people, because we are not perfect, We have our good moments and our not that good moments, and we try to be in between. So if we are trying to do this, this is already very good. And we will learn what we need to do a little bit better to live well, but most importantly, to transfer from this physical body to our spiritual body in a good shape. And then in this book, the gospel according to Spiritism, tonight we are going to read a beautiful message from a queen in France, and how was her reality when she woke up in the spiritual realm after her physical death. So this is just a preamble for you to know what we're going to be talking. So it's exciting. So as we always do, I just would like to invite you to relax, calm down, close your eyes. If you have your water, I really like to have our water because we believe the spirits can really put positive fluids that will help us when we drink this water. So just relax a little bit and let's do our initial prayer together. Dear God, our dear Master Jesus, all our guardian angels, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for your help, guiding us to be here, studying. Instead of doing any other thing, we are dedicating this hour to be connected with the enlightened spirits, trying to understand how to be better people, trying to understand how we can also help others, understanding that we will be helping ourselves. Please, Master, connect us with our guardian angels, so we will be inspired, we will be connected, and most of all, we will understand the message, and we will be able to put it in practice. Thank you so much, so be it. Very good, my friends. Thank you so much for listening. So before I forget, let me try to see the ones that are here. Ooh, already a lot of people came and I can see, but I see here Leticia Silveira. Hello, Leticia. Leticia from New York. I think the last time I saw you was in New York. Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome. Sol Souza. Hello, Sol. Carla Marques. Hey, my dear. Daniela Stefanelli. Hey, Dani. How are the babies? Very good. River. Hello, River. How are you? Katy Liu, my Chinese sister, my almost twin sister. Nice to have you here. Vanessa Godoy. Hello, Vanessa, the most beautiful bride I have ever seen with this gorgeous dress. I love it. Dani. Oh, Deborah Beldovitz. Hello, my dear. Such a long time I haven't seen you. I haven't talked to you. Deborah also has a show here in Kardec Radio. Awesome. Very, very good to see you all here. So I'm already taking 11 minutes. Let's go. So the ones who have the book, please go to chapter 29. As we always do, we are going to read. And when we finish, we are going to make comments. And please feel free to write your comments, your questions, anything, so we can interact a little bit together. It's not so monotonous. So let's go. Death. Seeing that our mind is the mirror of life, we should have no difficulty in understanding that immediately after death, the images that will prevail are those more deeply etched on its surface. So the images that are really in our mind. They were engraved there by our will. We did that. We engraved these messages through persistent and intensive mental reaction. Thought, that is a fluidic plasma, has the ability to materialize its own creations and give them temporary vitality and movement. Therefore, after our transition to the grave, we naturally become obsessed by the pictures that our imagination creates and are kept in a state of hallucinations. Most incarnated spirits experience this process during common sleep. Instead of retreating from the body during the hours of rest, they remain by it, receiving primitive thought reflexes and sensations which are in need of adjustment. All circles of life need the acquisition of good habits to comply with the educational process. All accomplishments of the spirit are made possible through repetitious lessons. These classes are vast sectors of specific work where, through constant effort and long duration, objectives are reached to suit each particular field of knowledge. Thus, when a student is preparing himself for a career, he takes the required classes. He also gains from the experience of previous masters in his chosen field. A candidate for a military career begins with handling the weaponry of a war and attends classes where important masters of a military strategy instruct him. The medical student must repeat year after year the lessons and experiences of specialists before taking the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocratic Oath is the old historical Greek medical oath. So this is like they do it until nowadays. In all vocational schools, we see teachers shaping children, adolescents, and adults to the principles of certain branches of study, adjusting their personality to fit predetermined goals. This is possible due to the principle of a systematic mental training formed by continuity and progressive lessons. A university certificate printed on a parchment merely testifies to the indispensable time spent studying in a certain field of knowledge to be applied as service to society. Following the same principle, death gives us a certificate of the completion of each repeated experience to which we have to adjust ourselves, as every spirit, more or less, transforms himself into what he keeps in his mind. This sentence is very important, and we will repeat it later on. This is how death distills our total mental content and compels us to live temporarily within these thought patterns. If the content is good, we have our portion of heaven that corresponds to the best we have built within ourselves. On the other hand, if it is bad, we must of necessity to be detained in our portion of hell that corresponds to the evil we created until rightful purification is completed. A hell that was of our own making, creating in the intimacy of our conscience. So we created this hell situation in our own minds. It's not God that created hell and put us there, are some philosophies and religious things, but we are the ones, through our free will and wrong decisions, we do it. Everything that deviates from the law of love and progress, that does not follow the principles of renewal and sublimation, causes blockages in the mind. This is nothing more than accumulated personal reflexes without any value for the common good. This only consolidates the fixed ideas we have in the afterlife, as if we were mentally unbalanced, because we find ourselves very distant from our fundamental reality. This is why to die means to enter even deeper into the world within ourselves, often taking a long time to be able to discard our less fortunate reflexes that have been transformed into hallucinatory state, created by our ideas fixed in darkness, or when we improve our reflexes by adjusting them towards goodness. We can simply move on from one sphere to another, gradually advancing to new horizons of ascension and light. So, as always, very beautiful and very powerful text from the Spirit Emmanuel. So what can we be talking about death? Please let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know your ideas. And then we can talk about it. Ooh, Vanessa Anceloni. Hello, my dear. Welcome, welcome. So River said, here it's all good in the hood. Yes, River. We have a very hot winter in Miami. So my friends from New York sent me pictures today of the snow. And we are actually like sweating. Today is not super hot, so I opened the doors. But my God, I'm already like, yes, air conditioning. Different, huh? Miami, always different. So my friends, death is something that a lot of people don't even like to talk, because a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to talk about death. It's very dark. It's very sad. It makes me anxious. Well, we are spiritists, so we should have a different approach to death, because first of all, we understand the life in this body, this physical body, is momentary. We know it's momentary. As soon as we are born, we know the only truth is death. It will happen. We just don't know when, but it will happen. And because we believe in life after death, we have a different approach, a more positive approach. But it gives us a lot of responsibility. A lot of responsibility, because as we just read the text, we know that how we live here, how we connect our mental reflexes, what we think about all the time, as Emmanuel said, what we always have in our mind, we have persistent thinking, we have been persistently thinking about something, or doing something, or learning something. This all collectively will affect us after the physical death. So we know all the spirits always say that there are, depending on the level of the spirits, when you die, depending also the type of death you have, you know, if it was like a car accident and suddenly happened, so it's different than somebody that have been sick for a long time, because that person already have the idea that they might not recover. So independently of the type of death that we understand it can affect a little bit, the type of a person, the type of a moral level that each one of us have been living will also affect how we will be waking up. We know that almost 100% of us, as soon as we die, we have that momentary state of perturbation. The spirits say it is normal because we are transitioning from one plane to another plane. So this momentary state of perturbation is normal. But what is not normal is to stay in this state of perturbation. That's what we don't want to have. So in this text, Emmanuel basically gave us a recipe how not to remain in this perturbatory state. So let's go back to the text. Please, if you want to say anything, if you want to make comments, just write, and I will try to pay more attention so I can read your comments, okay? So let's go back to the text. So Emmanuel starts, seeing that our mind is the mirror of life. So our mind, our thoughts is the mirror of life. So whatever we are doing and thinking, that's how our life on earth is. So think about it. What are you doing with your life? What have you been doing? Think about everything. Think about what you have been studying, what you have been working, how you have been dealing with your family, with your friends. But I think also about with that persons that you have a little bit difficulty. Because to think about a friend, someone that you love, it's easy. It brings like a good thoughts and you want to be close to the person. But when you think about someone that's difficult, that brings you negativity, it is hard. And sometimes, if we don't really pay attention, we can transform our thoughts into something negative. And we know it's not good because negativity in Spiritism, negativity attracts negativity. So we don't want to be negative. We want to be positive. Yes, we understand that unfortunately, there are people that do not understand us. We also don't understand others. So we can't be loved by everyone. If you think that Jesus, the most perfect spirit that was on earth, he was not loved by everyone, unfortunately. And most of the time, we were the ones that back in time of Jesus, we were there, rebellious spirits. And Jesus was preaching beautiful things about the forgiveness, love, charity. And we were like, shh, forget about it. Is he crazy? Give the other side of the cheek? Yes, yes. We were probably there. And unfortunately, we took thousands of years to get a little bit better. And we are getting better. Thank God. God is very blessing. He's very merciful. That's why we are here. We have so many opportunities of coming back and back and back, learning with our past mistakes and improving all the time. That's what we have to do, improve all the time. So Emmanuel continues saying, our thoughts is a fluidic plasma. So we know the spirits tell us that in the spiritual realm is really like the thought as our book. The thought is life. So you think, you can create. It's like a very automatic. Imagine the speed of light. You turn on the switch, whew, turns on. The speed of thought. You think about something, it's there. There is even a joke they like to say, something like, do not think about an elephant. It's impossible. As soon as the person says elephant, that image comes to your mind. So we have to teach our mind to concentrate in positive things, because negative things will come and will go. But let's try to teach to concentrate in what is better, because what is bad will come and hopefully will go. We have to try to teach our thoughts to focus on what is good. So we can make this plasmic, I don't even know if I can say this in English, so we can plasma positive thoughts. And then he goes saying all circles of life need the acquisition of a good habits to comply with educational process. So on earth, we are in this educational process in every single way. We are born, we have our mother and father, hopefully, some adult taking care of you and helping you to go to school. And at the school, the teachers will be teaching you how to read, how to write. You start growing, you start having abilities, different abilities. And in the school, they will start guiding you. And when you grow up, you become a teenager, an adult, hopefully you will dedicate more hours to whatever profession you want. If you are able to go to college, as he said here, if you can go to medical school, this is a blessing. It's a blessing because you will learn so much and you will help so many people. You will save lives. So you are improving your intellectual way. But when we are on earth and when we live in society, we will also hopefully be improving our moral side because we are exposed to many different types of people every day. As soon as you get out of your door, you will be meeting neighbors, you will be meeting people on the streets. Some people are friendly, others are not, but you have to try to bring something good to them. I was seeing a movie like yesterday, and a couple are walking on the streets, and the man starts saying good evening to every single person. And the girlfriend is saying, what are you doing? I feel weird. Isn't that something sad? It's sad in our society to talk to somebody else is weird. I actually like very much to walk. It's not that I'm good evening, but I like to look at people and smile. Most of them get like, what is that? But it's good. You just transfer something positive to someone else. It's good for us. It's a exercise. It's a positive exercise. So he talks about the students that dedicate so many hours. Imagine a person, a younger person, that it's already naturally inclined to play piano. He has natural talent. So maybe in a previous life, he was already a pianist. But we know to be an excellent in whatever thing you're doing, you need a lot of training, a lot of dedication, many hours persisting in something, making mistakes, correcting, trying again and again and again. Only like this, you will become really good. You will become much better. And this is how he says that we should be in our lives. We really should try to do good, to persist in doing good. And then he continues, this would be our systematic mental training. So it's good to be constantly thinking, okay, this is not good, let me change, what can I do? In every moment, even in the darkest moments, you have to calm down, pray, and try to see light. Sometimes it's difficult. I'm talking by experience. I go through phases that sometimes you feel so irritated, so angry, and you're like, that's it, give up. I can't take this anymore. But when you calm down, when you reflect, you said, yes, you have to take it. You have to take it because you are a spiritist. You know you have to take it. You know the consequences of everything we do on earth will be a consequence in the spiritual life. So as Emmanuel continues telling us, we are this collection. We are the collection of our experience here in the life. So Hello, Michele Silva. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here. So he continues. Following the same principle, death gives us a certificate at the completion of each repeated experience to which we have adjusted ourselves, as every spirit more or less transforms himself into what he keeps in his mind. So this is very interesting, very interesting. So we become a doctor, you get the certificate, medical certificate. You become a lawyer, doctor, lawyer certificate. You become a mechanical, you will receive a mechanical certificate. You die, you will receive the certificate of death, even in the spiritual realm. But what did we learn? What did we learn during this period that we were studying, incarnated here? So this is what we have to reflect. Are we learning well? Every day we learn. We learn in everything we do. We learn reading the internet. We learn talking to our co-workers. We learn with our kids. And many times we are tested. We have to be tested in patience. The kids. Patience, you are tested a lot every day. Think about it. But we have always to get something from it. So we improve a little bit. And that's how we have to improve every day, trying to shape ourselves through our problems and through the good things also that happen to us. So we can improve ourselves a little bit more, a little bit every day. And if possible, helping others, making others to feel good too, making others to see your good example. So many times we see people going through terrible situations, very, very difficult situations, and they are still very happy. Yesterday in the Spirit Center, we were studying the gospel, and we were talking about suffering. So we can suffer well, or we can suffer badly. And then you're going to think, suffer well? Who is going to suffer well? How a suffering can be good? It's not that. It's not that we are going to be happy because we are suffering. But we have to understand that whenever we are suffering with something, there is a lesson to be learned there. There is something that we have to learn. Maybe during that period, we are not understanding why we are going through that. But it's important as a lesson for us. It's important for us to take something positive from that and improve and move on and not get stuck in that moment of pain, because this is suffering badly. It's like I hit my finger and my finger is healed. It's healed now, but I'm still like, oh, it was so terrible. I can't stand it. I don't like to remember. No, it already passed. Let's forget about it and move on, because that's the only way for us to suffer well. And there are so many examples of people that go through pains that you can even imagine, and they are so much more positive than us. Sometimes we have a little tiny problem and we make it huge, and we see others that they have a huge problem and they say, yes, it is difficult, but I believe in God and I know it will end one day and I will benefit from the pain that I'm going through. And another thing we know also, that every time, we were discussing yesterday in the center too, whenever we are happy, we do not think about God. We do not think about life in general. We think just about the material pleasures, whatever is making this happiness. So we are focused in that time. It's wonderful to be happy, but we have to understand, exactly like Chico Xavier said, the good moments, they will be gone. And the bad moments, they also will be gone. They all shall pass. So we will keep with us what is good. So The good moment passed and it's a wonderful memory. The bad moment passed and I learned with it. And in the bad moments, we really get more connected with God. We pray more, we reflect, we try to modify our course of action, whatever it is. So it really helps us to reflect more in life. So that's how it's so important for us. And the last paragraph, Emmanuel says, this is why to die means to enter even deeper into the world within ourselves. Like, how did we live? The way we lived will be the way we will wake up. So did we live a life of complaint, of gossiping, talking bad about the life of other people, doing illegal things? Maybe you did something. So think about. And it's always time to reflect and change. It's always time for us to learn. It's always time for us to improve. It's always time for us, instead of sharing so many negative things in the internet, because a lot of people are doing it. Let's share what is good. Let's share what is positive. Let's give hope to people. The life is already very difficult. We don't need to share something that's bad. So we need to share what is good, what is positive, what can help people to think about life in a different way, even if it's posting a beautiful picture of a flower, of a tree, of a child smiling. Let's do what is good. That thing that you look and you're like, you forget, even if temporary, about your own difficulties. And then Emmanuel continues. Often taking long time to be able to discard our less fortunate reflexes that have been transformed into hallucinatory state, created by our own ideas, fixed in darkness. So we cannot focus so much on what is negative. Let's focus on what is good. I already said what is negative is there, is everywhere. So let's try to dedicate more time to what is good, exactly like you guys are doing right now. You are here right now, reading books, studying, listening to my voice. At least the books are marvelous. And we are not wasting our time with whatever. This is it's beautiful. Life is beautiful. We can dedicate the 24 hours a day to different things. But at this moment, it's very important for us to have few moments that we really focus and dedicate into something positive. So he continues, or when we improve our reflexes by adjusting them towards goodness, we can simply move on from one sphere to another, gradually advancing to new horizons of ascension and light. So this is another beautiful thing in Spiritism. We know that whatever will happen to us in the spiritual realm after we wake up, it's not forever. And it depends on us to move on to a better state of mind that will bring us to a better physical state, even if in the spiritual realm. As we saw the movie Nosso Lar and read the book, when he died, he went to the lower zones. But then he was rescued and he went to the colony Nosso Lar. And he stayed there, he became a better person. Then he visited his family. And then all kinds of negative feelings came. Jealousy because his wife had remarried. All kinds of things made him so angry that brought him immediately to the lower zones again. So it's just for us to understand how our mind can shift so quickly. But then he had already learned a little bit. And he understood, if I continue with these negative feelings, with this anger, with this jealousy, I'm not being charitable. I'm not being a loving person. I want the best for my family. This man is good. He helps my wife. He helps my kids. So I need to help him. And at the second he thought about that, poof, he left the negative place. He left the lower zones and he was back in place to be able to help the family. So this is a blessing for us to know that we are the masters of our destiny. We control it all the time. So let's control our minds and let's try always the best. And if we are not feeling good, let's ask help to a friend that's a little bit better than us, and then we can little by little shift our thoughts and do a little bit better. And because of this, it's very important for you to stay with us, because I'm going to read a message now, a beautiful message from a Queen of France, and she talks about it. She talks about how was her life in the spiritual realm when she woke up. And you know, as most of the people, wow, a queen of France, imagine all the riches she had, imagine the type of life she was used to have. So imagine herself that she really believed, and believed the way she lived, that was, she was like a chosen one. She deserved that. So let's see what she said. This is the gospel according to Spiritism. You that have the book and you are following, please go to chapter 2, number 8. My kingdom is not of this world. The message is short. I will read and then we can comment. An earthly kingship. Number 8. Who better than I can understand the truth of these words of our Lord? My kingdom is not of this world. I lost myself in pride while on earth. Who then could understand the insignificance of earth kingdom if not I? What of my earthly kingdom did I bring back here with me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And as if to make my lesson more terrible, it did not even accompany me to the tomb. So she was not buried with any of her riches. I was a queen amongst men. As a queen, I thought I would enter the kingdom of heaven. Such delusion, such humiliation, when instead of being received as a sovereign, I saw above me, far above me, beings whom I had deemed quite small and whom I had despised because they were not of noble blood. Oh, how I then understood the bareness of the honors and the grandeurs that I so eagerly sought on earth. In order to prepare oneself for a place in the kingdom, self-denial, humility, charity in all its heavenly forms, and benevolence toward all are required. So we see that in the spiritual kingdom, these are the real important riches. Let's repeat. Self-denial, humility, charity in all its heavenly forms, and benevolence toward all are required. You are not asked who you were or what position you occupied, but what good you did. The tears you wept away. Wow, powerful. Oh, Jesus, you said that your kingdom is not of this world, because one must suffer in order to reach heaven. This suffer here, we can really interpret like the lessons we learn. It's not that we are only going to go to heaven, or we are only going to be happier if we suffer. But that's what I was mentioning before. Every time we have to learn a lesson, and sometimes we take wrong decisions, it makes us suffer. So we feel pain. But are we going to suffer well, or are we going to suffer bad? If we're going to suffer well, we have to have faith and understand, if this is happening, it's because I need to go through it. Please, God, help me. Help me to overcome it, especially in a positive way. So then she continues. So one must suffer in order to reach heaven, and the steps of a throne cannot lead us to it. Only the most trying paths of life do. Therefore, seek your path through the briars and thorns, and not amongst the flowers. This is almost to say that when we go through the flowers, we are choosing the wide door, like the easy door, the one that's piece of cake to go through it. But it can bring us into temptation, into dangerous pathways. When we choose, like she said here, the thorns, we choose the difficult, the narrow passageway. It's a hard one. It's one that we will feel pain to go through it. But if we go well through it, then we will find a beautiful pathway that will bring us what is really important. That's not the richness of the earth, but it's the reach of the spiritual life. That's what we need, because we understand that everything on earth, all the material things on earth, they are not going to come with us, and they are not going to bring any type of happiness to us. So what brings happiness really are the values that we cannot even touch. These are the ones that bring happiness in long term. So then she continues, people run after earthly things, the material things, as if they were able to keep them forever. But here there are no more illusions. They soon perceive that they have only been chasing a shadow, and that they had neglected the only possessions that were solid and durable, the only ones they could use in the heavenly home, the only ones that give them access to it. Have pity of those who have not gained the kingdom of heaven. Help them with your prayers, for prayers bring people closer to the Most High. It is the link of union between heaven and earth. Do not forget that. A Queen of France, Havre, 1863. So it's a beautiful message. So you can imagine this woman, a queen in France. Imagine if France nowadays, France, England, so many countries who had so many powerful kings and queens in the past. And as this woman, she really believed she was special, as they used to say, the blue blood, the chosen ones. But as soon as she went to the spiritual realm, as soon as she died, she woke up in the other side, and she saw that her energy was dark, her surroundings, she felt heavy, and she saw beings that were from her castle. There are messages from other books that talk about queens that arrived in the spiritual realm and saw their employees, the very, very simple persons, being bright beings, like almost like angels. And she asked her spiritual guide, like, but I know that man, how come he's so bright? And then that's the message. He suffered well, he followed your orders, he did the best thing he could with his life. He cultivated things that were really important in the spiritual life, not the material things, not even the power, you know. Even if on earth people sometimes don't think about, are not super connected with material things, for example, gold, but they are connected with power, with beauty, with other feelings that are not material per se, but are not good either. And these feelings are not going to bring any good things for us when we reach there. So better message than from a queen that experience all the grandeur than a lot of people always say, oh, I wish I could have this or that. So we understand that sometimes we really, sometimes no, most of the time, we really don't want that. We know that the test, the reincarnation as a person of power, of beauty, or of richness is much more dangerous than the reincarnation of a person that's normal looking, a person that's not powerful, a person that's not rich, because they can live their lives in a more simple way, in a way that they are not so pull and push. So they have more focus on themselves, on bettering themselves. But when you reincarnate with these other positions, it's very difficult. It's very hard because you have to go through many temptations, and we talk about it and like, oh no, it's not that difficult. I wish millionaire. Oh, I wish I was super beautiful. Oh, I wish. We can even joke about that. But when you're really going through that, it can be very difficult. It's not easy to be like a Bill Gates, like Warren Buffett. It's not easy. It's difficult. And these men, they manage so well their intelligence and their power and also their money, because they understood that their money can be of much better usage if it goes to the society money. So they created and they support so many institutions. They donate so much money to universities to help so many universities, to help other countries. We know of the beautiful work of Bill Gates in Africa. We know Warren Buffett have been donating millions and millions of dollars to many different institutions. So these men, they are just two examples. We know there are hundreds, if not more, people that do this, and they really don't tell anyone. We don't even know they are charitable. It's a blessing. It's really a blessing. So, but to reach to this level is not easy. It's not easy. For us that we are simple people with little money, it's already difficult to be more charitable. Unfortunately, we usually have the tendency, oh no, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. I have to keep it because of this or because of that. No, 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 no. Whenever we give, we receive. So if we can extend our hand to something, to a cause, to someone that will be able to help someone, even if we're not going to change the life of someone, but we are going to bring a smile to the life of someone that's so nervous, so disturbed, so out of hope, this is a blessing. So my friends, we are in November. Soon Christmas will be here. Time flies. So let's be more charitable. Usually people are more charitable when Christmas arrives, because there's a time that everybody starts meditating, thinking about their own families. So this is important for us too. Let's do the same. And if you can help, it's always important to help. So the message of this wonderful queen is really something for us to keep in our minds. And let's start, because we have few minutes, the chapter 3. There are many dwellings in my Father's house. And then comes the first message, the message of Jesus. And he says, let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. There are many dwellings in my Father's house. If it were not so, I would have told you. For I am going to prepare the place, and after I have gone and have prepared a place for you, I will return and will take you with me, so that there where I am, you may also be. John, beautiful message. Can you imagine if this could really happen? You have Jesus inviting us to be with him. So you think, oh, it's never gonna happen. I can't be with Jesus. But let's think about the blessing to be in a good place, invited by a good spirit, by someone that we love. Can you imagine if we are dying and the moment of our transition, we see someone that we absolutely loved receiving us? Isn't this wonderful? That a grandmother that you loved, if your mother and father are already gone, even friends that we loved so much, uncles, someone. We know that when we have married, we will be received by someone that loved us very much. And it will be a blessing if we can immediately recognize this spirit. So this is this message. So let's try to be good so we can have this wonderful blessing as soon as we wake up in the other side, in the real side of life. Because we know earth is just a momentary life, our momentary state incarnated in this physical body. But our eternal life is the spiritual life. So we are here in the school called Earth, and there is a planet that just started to become a regeneration planet. It's in the beginning phases, so we don't feel a lot of a difference, but the seed is planted. The seed of love, charity, forgiveness, more understanding, less wars, less hatred. It's here and it's germinating everywhere, little by little. The beautiful fruits and flowers are coming. So we want to be this flower. We want to plant our little seed. We want that our children, that our nephews, nieces, students, like we love to say, the new generation is coming to change. Yes, we know the new generation are more advanced spirits. Most of them much more advanced intellectually. But it's up to us help them morally, because a lot of these spirits need our help. So we will be the ones that are really be responsible for guiding them, helping them, teaching them through our example. So let's be the good example so we can shape these future lives, preparing for our reincarnation, because we may be their grandchildren, or we will be our own grandchildren. You never know. You never know. So, my friends, it was a blessing, as always, a blessing to be here talking about spiritism. It's so beautiful, makes us to feel so positive. So even if you are going through difficult times, it's always good to take 1 hour to calm down and listen to something positive. Even if you are not here live with us, but you will be listening to this message later on. I hope you benefit as much as we do. I always say when I'm giving lectures or when I'm here studying, I always benefit so much, because sometimes we read something and it's different when we are really trying to reflect about all the details. When we read a book quickly, it's different. When you go in a group also that you ask questions, you talk about, you see things that you had never seen or have never thought about it before. So it's always a blessing. Thank you so much. So now let's just close our eyes so we can close with a prayer and ask all this beautiful energy to stay with us during the week. Dear God, thank you so much for this beautiful message. Help us to keep this positive energy, this positive and loving vibrations with us through this whole week. Help all of us to also send a little bit of this loving energy to all the friends that are listening to us right now. And please help us to really commit ourselves to come back again in 2 weeks and continue this study. Thank you so much. So be it. So my friends, I just want to wish you all happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Please, before you eat your dinner, wherever you go, your lunch or your dinner, take few seconds just to meditate about all the beautiful things that God gives to us. We have to be grateful for everything, for our bodies, for our house, for technology, for everything. And we are here making a better self, but also making a better world because we are all connected. Love you. God bless you all. Have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And I hope to see you all in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Thank you.